be your best possible defense strategy?
Thank God I'm not doing defense work anymore, but I think the best defense strategy would be to argue that
this is literally like his fifth fucking hearing. That is true.
That gets rid of the force, fraud, or coercion. The challenge is if they do supersede and they add sex trafficking of minors, that argument goes out the window because minors can't consent. Now, Diddy is allegedly contacting witnesses, and there's probably a few ways that he can persuade them to either do a 180 or not show up at trial and testify. He can outright bribe them, pay them off through civil settlements and judgments. He can blackmail them. He can try to threaten them. But I mean, his best defense is for these witnesses to go sideways. That's really the only defense in this case.
All right. We have an update from court. Sean Combs' lawyer, Mr. Rico, says the family of Mr. Sean Love Combs are here. They traveled a long way. Judge Subramanian says, thank you for being here. Mr. Agnifilo, tell me about the legal pads. And Mark Agnifilo responds, the first time I saw them was Tuesday. Elizabeth, this feels like in response to the issue that happened earlier this week about whether the government improperly photographed potentially privileged materials of Sean Combs. I didn't think that issue was going to be decided today, or at least discussed today. I thought they were going to be briefing it, and maybe the judge would have to decide if there was a privilege issue later on. Actually, before I throw it to you, another update. As we sit, this is from Mark Agnifilo. As we sit here today, I'm not sure when legal was written on each of them. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. Different members of the defense team were telling him to write legal on the pads. There's a photo of a pad without legal on it. Again, this is all in relation to whether there was a big sweep at the Metropolitan Detention Center and photographs were taken of Sean Combs' notebooks. And the question was, were 19 pages or other materials improperly photographed of his conversations with his attorneys about legal strategy? What was written on the pads? What do you take away from this?
That's right. So I'm not surprised that the judge is discussing it a little bit. The judge had said earlier this week that he will hold separate hearings regarding whether these notes could be actually ultimately used at trial in May, and that's sort of later on down the line. But he did say in a filing earlier this week, be prepared to talk about what happened with that legal sort of note that was on the papers and where did it go. I'm not surprised that he wants to talk about that because I think a big part of what the prosecution is going to try to argue to prevent him from being released on bail is potential witness tampering. And what they said earlier this week is that there was some evidence within the notes of him, trying to contact witnesses through third parties, trying to get family members.
As we already know, he was contacting Kalina, constantly trying to get Kalina to, I guess, maybe, first of all, trying to make sure he controlled Kalina so she don't speak. Then trying to, I guess, intimidate some other witnesses. So this is why they don't want to let him out, because they know once Diddy gets out, once he is on the streets, he's going to be running shit. It is what it is. And Kalina asked if she took any money from him, she better hope her ass don't get in trouble either. But they say Kalina in a bad spot right now. I mean, I don't know. Allegedly, she was talking weird. She was talking crazy. Mouth was moving over to the side of her face, and allegedly, she ain't got custody of her kids. Allegedly.
Orchestrated this social media campaign to influence a potential jury. And the idea would be if he's orchestrating this behind bars, you can't let him out on pretrial release. What else would he do? Now, I'm curious your thoughts on this. Some would say, and the prosecution says we have evidence to prove that was his intent, was to influence a potential jury. Do you think that's strong, though? I mean, we're not even close to a trial. Do you think? And also, he's a public figure. Doesn't he have a right to change the public narrative about what everybody's been saying about him?
Jesse, I'm as pro-prosecution as they come, and I believe that they have evidence that he's contacting witnesses, and that is witness tampering and obstruction. But to argue against a social media public relations campaign is really a bridge too far, in my opinion. If you're the prosecution, you got to kind of maintain your credibility. Obviously, there's the courtroom and there's the court of public opinion. There's no gag order or other order preventing him from doing this. So don't make arguments that not necessarily aren't nonsensical, that aren't really advancing your case. Focus on the witnesses and what matters, and you don't have to worry about Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and whatever.
Well, it was interesting because his son took over his social media account. His Instagram account was posting like music videos of his father and behind the scenes footage of his father, and we did a sidebar on what that might mean, and now we see what the prosecution is taking away from some social media posts. Okay, we have an update from court. Nima, I'll just start with you on this. So Sean Combs' lawyer Mark Agnifilo, said, so it's clear that on November 1st, the sweep, which I'd mentioned, the sweep of the MDC, they did not all say legal, meaning it was not printed legal on his Sean Combs notepads. The judge says, the pad you handed up to me, did it say legal on it on November 1st? Agnifilo says, I'm not sure. The judge responds, moving forward, make sure representations are true. Ooh, felt like a little bit accusing the defense of not being totally transparent, right?
I think so, and it's not the first time. Going back to that video from 2016, the defense said that DHS leaked it, and there's really no evidence to support that. And I understand that they're trying to advocate on behalf of your client, but Judge Subramanian, let's be honest, this is a Democratic appointee. He has a civil background, and I'm really surprised he's taking so much time to address this privilege issue. Obviously, the attorney-client privilege is sacred, but we're talking about 20 pages. Judge, take the documents, review them in camera and chambers, and make your decision. Why do you need briefing on this? It's not something that's rocket science. Any young lawyer can determine whether the documents are privileged or not.
We have another update from court. Elizabeth, I'll turn to you on this one. This is from the judge. Ms. Slavic, this is referring to Christine Slavic. She is the AUSA, the Assistant United States Attorney, the prosecutor in this case, one of the prosecutors. Ms. Slavic, what is the status of Mr. Combs' laptop? And then she responds, the laptop for him to review the discovery at the MDC. The idea is to preload the information he's allowed to have at the MDC on the laptop. There is a protective order. Interesting they're talking about this because one of the arguments put forward by Sean Combs' defense team is he doesn't have the adequate resources at the MDC to properly prepare for what is a complicated sex trafficking and racketeering trial. What is this exchange about, you think?
Right. I think they're probably pointing to an issue with privacy. And like you said, him being able to properly be able to put on his defense. If he's someone who's in home detention, he can meet with his attorneys in fair confidence, discuss things more freely. In prison, you're really not afforded those same privacy rights. So I think that's an argument that his team is going to be putting on.
Nima, I've got a question. This is from Sean D. Cole again on YouTube. Please keep the questions coming if you have a question about this hearing. If you have a question about this case, make sure to submit them now. This is with this being the presiding judge, meaning Judge Arun Subramanian. Is this Sean Combs' last chance for bail? I don't believe so. I believe that he could go to the Second Circuit and had petitioned the Second Circuit, but then put it on pause, waiting for Judge Subramanian to ultimately decide this issue, right?
Yes. So when you appeal, that really removes jurisdiction of the ability of the trial court to make a decision. So obviously the case was transferred to Judge Subramanian, but they'd appealed to the Second Circuit, which is the highest court before that appeal. But now what they want is another bite at the apple, see if the judge is going to disagree with the prior magistrate judge and district judge and actually release Combs on bail, which would be very surprising, in my opinion, before they take it up on appeal.
Elizabeth, I'll turn to you on that. Again, the reason we know some of what the defense's arguments are is because I read the brief to the Second Circuit. They asked to put it on, they called it, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the legal term, abeyance. They put the appeal on abeyance and said, pause it. We're going to go to Judge Subramanian. If he actually grants bail, this is all moot, forget it. But, do you think the Second Circuit would be more amenable to his arguments?
I think it would be a bit more difficult. Obviously, whenever you appeal a case, the appellate judge is really more prone to being guided by former precedent. It doesn't mean that judges don't overturn decisions. They do all the time, but they are more privy to be bound to prior decisions. Here in this instance, this is his third attempt before the hearing today to be released on bail. You have two prior judges who have said no, for various reasons. So I think it'd be harder in his appeal process.
All right, talking about the bail, we now have an update on this. So Judge Subramanian says, on the bail application, I don't have to deal with the Bustani case. The defense is saying there are extensive conditions proposed, including 24/7 security. What about the Fox case? Prosecutor responds, there was no RICO charge in that case. The judge said agreed. So now they're going through some of the case law that was debated back and forth between the prosecution and the defense. Nima, I think what's really interesting, one of the arguments put forward, and I think this is, you tell me if it's legitimate or not, the defense is saying, you're just hearing allegations from the prosecution about that he's a danger here. They're relying on the allegations in the indictment. They're saying that he reached out to witnesses and victims. Don't you need to hold a hearing? Shouldn't you call witnesses to prove that? Now, it's not they don't have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, let me find where it's live, like right outside the damn bill here. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Because I definitely thought they was going to be outside the courthouse. I don't want to hear these hoes talk. Diddy's live. Let's see. Okay, this is what we're looking for. News 18. Okay. Oh yeah, they all out. They ready. They all out and they ready. Now listen, somebody in the chat. I'm gonna pause that. I heard somebody in the chat say, the lady that walked by, was it Diddy's aunt or his mother? Now, I heard a theory that Janice Combs is actually Diddy's biological aunt and not his biological mother, which would actually explain a lot. It actually would explain a lot. They do, and they just walk in. Okay, yeah. So I don't know if there's any truth to that. You know, like when it comes to this Diddy stuff, people is throwing so much stuff out there. Like at this point, who knows? His sister, I don't know. Oh shit. Okay, somebody talk. I don't know.
I'm not going to talk about harsh or not harsh. We respectfully disagreed with the ruling, and that's why we're bringing it to the district judge who's assigned to the case this afternoon. I'm really late. I really have so much. I've been prepared.
Oh, there go Justin. There go Quincy. There go Christian. They don't look happy. I don't know who that nigga is. They don't look happy. Uh-oh. Is he about to Diddy bop his way home?
Here he comes. Lawyer. Excuse me. He's at the front. Right there.
Oh, this is old footage. Okay. Oh, okay. They just showing every time they left the courthouse. Okay. All right. So they giving throwbacks. Is that his aunt or his mother? What is the tea? When did that fucking happen? Because I had never heard that until now. I saw somebody in the comments say that this was known in New York. It wasn't known. It wasn't public knowledge. Okay, let me see who else is live.
Thanks for waiting. I'm really not going to make much of a statement. As you know, I made a request for the judge to issue what we call the gag order, and the judge is going to issue it on a reciprocal basis. So I'm not going to say anything that I didn't say in my papers and in court. We submitted a written motion last night that states our position. I'm not going to say anything in addition to it, but I didn't want to leave all you guys hanging, and I wanted to say at least that I wasn't going to say anything. So that's all I'm going to say and not say. Thank you all. I hope that gives you what you need, but I'm not going to say anything that I haven't said in court and that I haven't said in my court papers. So you all have a nice day, and thank you very much.
How is he doing? Can you clarify the terms of the gag order?
It's full of social media. It's bullshit. Fugazi.
Damn.
The whole motion. You put it together with ChatGPT. Your client is a monster and a predator.
Damn. Okay, that's old footage because I remember that guy. I feel like.
I could never remember what I said over there. He's doing fine. Dr. King called it the law of unintended consequences. So sometimes the more you push a person down, the stronger they get. And so he's making an adjustment. He had his family here today to support him. We really want to put an end to all of the clowning that we see on the internet. This is a serious proceeding.
Okay, I ain't got time for no throwback. So let me hit the invite button. I'm gonna hit copy. Okay, so I guess right now we're just waiting. Oh, you said Adria English put it out there in her interview with Lionel B. Okay, I'm gonna have to go check that out. I ain't seen a Lionel B video in the longest. Side note, I want to ask y'all something in the chat. How easy is it to like groom your dog? I'm thinking about not even taking him to the groomers on Monday and just doing it myself. Anybody else groom their dogs themselves? Side note, while we waiting on this, we just talking. By the way, the link is pinned if you guys have a comment. Who else has done that? Y'all let me know in the chat. Depends on how wild the dog is. Nah, he'd be pretty calm. And I'm just doing a simple summer cut. Like that's it. You said, man, take that dog out, man. Not easy. Okay. Okay, maybe not. Harder than it. It just depends on their temperament. My dog put up a fight with us. I grew my heads. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the Clippers are cheap. I'm gonna take a chance and do it. I think I'm gonna take a chance to do it. Oh, it's okay. My apartment complex has like their own little pet salon area thingy majig. So yeah, I mean he's 11 pounds. So yeah. I blow dry my dog's hair. I ain't mad at it. YouTube videos, you have anything you can do? Look, seriously. Not a pet salon, but y'all know how the apartments, they'll have their own little, they call it a pet spa, but really it's just a place where you can like wash and bathe your dogs. So you don't have to like do it. Yeah. Like all in your apartment and shit. After washing it, just sit on the, yep. I do it all the time on my back porch. You don't have no friends to come. Listen, I'm literally just talking because we got to pass the time. I mean, shit, ain't nothing else going on. Obviously, I have a standard poodle. The dog drying station, drying the hair is a lot. Yeah, it is. It's true. We don't want to talk about that. We want the tea. Listen. Let me help you. Bye, bitch! How about that? How about that? I hate people coming in here trying to like tell me, "Oh, you ain't got no friends. Do you have any friends, whore?" How about that? Do you have any friends? I've been the realist. Good day, Storm Chasers. Good day, and Storm Chasers. I love your show. Can't wait for your site. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of energy I want. That's the kind of energy I'm talking about. Damn, what that person said. Oh, you ain't got no friend. I'm on here just talking, bitch. Do you have any friends, whore? How about that? Anyway, you said me either can't wait for the Storm Monroe website. You said Storm got to no, they just be trying me like bye or how about that? So anyway, listen, this is Diddy's like 5th bail hearing at this point. He's trying to get out. You know, we've been streaming outside the courts, but I don't think it's gonna be much happening. I don't think much is happening. Latifah B said one more thing. If you're gonna wash and cut, I suggest cut first, then wash hair. Hair might get tangled, blending on the breed. Okay. Got it. Appreciate that. Listening, I'm high functioning autistic, okay? So what was she talking about? Yeah, this is turn up on these old. Oh my god, let that commercial play. I'm late. But it's hard grooming, but it gets easier with time. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I can definitely take my time with it, and it ain't gotta be perfect. And we ain't trying to do no fancy style, nothing like that. They have these islands to do their ritual and a bit. Ooh, yeah, that's true. So I think law and crime. Okay, yeah, let me hop back to law and crime because it ain't much going on. Shit, otherwise I can go get some other shit done. To be honest.
On crime about it. So for a judge to say that you can't post on social media about your birthday with your family, I mean, forget about it. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. No appellate court would uphold that order.
Clearly, you do not believe that Kanye West being sued for copyright infringement is the bigger case, and that's shocking. I didn't expect that from you. Okay, we have another update from court. This is from the prosecutor. The court entered the order on October 25th. He started his campaign on October 27th. He couldn't even comply for 2 days. The judge said, what about the we have something. What about the Jeffries Abercrombie case where the government agreed to release on $10 million bond? And then the prosecutor says, we did a letter. And by the way, that's the letter that we read before, where basically the government talked about distinguishing Mike Jeffries. It's not only his age. We're talking about the idea that he's not charged with sex trafficking. There was not these repeated patterns of violence like they allege with Sean Combs. And so, again, now it seems like they're getting into that issue, which I think is going to be really, really important. Again, just for our viewers turning in, Elizabeth, you see that the case of Mike Jeffries, who has been arrested and charged with sex trafficking of young men using force, fraud, and coercion. That is a slightly different case because he was granted $10 million bail. He was arrested after Sean Combs was arrested. But that is a different case. The prosecutor that you think prosecutors might have a struggle with.
That's right. I think there's some overlap. Again, it's involving massive public figures, it's involving trafficking charges, but I think there's a big difference, you know, in terms of the racketeering charges, the amount of civil lawsuits. Again, they're alleged civil lawsuits, but against Sean Combs, there's currently over 100 similar charges. I haven't seen anything similar to that extent at Jeffries. And also, again, it keeps coming back to that video. There hasn't been any form of video evidence, at least that we've seen in the
Cassandra
public
Ventura.
domain. Correct. Yeah. With
letter laying out our reasoning for seeking pretrial detention. I'm not going to be able to expand beyond what's in the letter, but it contains all of the reasoning, and it contains the law as well. There is a presumption of detention in a case like this, and we think that's warranted.
John Anise, New York.
This is old too, right?
Thank you. I was hoping to get some more detail about the searches of his residence, the guns, the cases of lubricant,
Yeah,
and
that's
the
old.
videos. Where were they found amongst his residence? Were they all scattered?
Man. Oh my God. Let me go to what was that line? Yep. Let's see while I'm waiting on that. What's going on, Sierra?
Hey, Storm, can you hear me?
I sure can. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, good. What's on your mind?
Well, first, I want to say congrats on the website. How does it feel to get that goal accomplished?
It feels good. It feels good for sure. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. So with the Diddy situation, like you said, at this point, this is the 10,000 bail hearing. I don't think he's getting out. What I don't know is this like a R. Kelly situation where he's going down, he's been caught, he's not protected anymore? Or is it that Diddy is a scapegoat, there are bigger fish to fry, and they're just using him to get at these people?
I think there's much bigger fish to fry than Diddy, because you know Diddy had connections with royals, people from overseas, all kinds of people in the government. So it's much bigger than just Diddy.
Right. And you know how they mentioned before, they were like, oh, there's this high level celebrity on one of the tapes. They have the still images. In my head, I was like, it's Leonardo DiCaprio. Who do you think?
Ooh. That would be interesting. You know, Leo love the young girls.
Right. He's known for that.
And shout out to Cynthia G. What's up, Cynthia? And allegedly, you know, they say Leonardo, you know, they say he got fucked and sucked dick to get in the industry too, allegedly. So.
Right. And then lastly, going back to Justin Bieber, I feel like it's interesting that he's being seen as a victim, obviously, because he was introduced as a child. So yes, he is, but it just seems that, which I don't take that away. Obviously, I do see he's a victim in that standpoint, but I don't know. It just seems like somehow this young white pop star is just he out of the mix. Like the white boy ain't got nothing to do with it. He a victim, but everybody else is a predator. Everyone else is the bad guy.
Well, you know, that's how it go anyway.
Right.
You know, that's definitely how it go. And then keep in mind too, Ashton Kutcher used to be around Diddy a lot, and now Ashton and his wife, they finna move to the UK. Ellen DeGeneres just moved to the UK. Tom Hanks.
I saw her and her wife was leaving. I saw her. I didn't see Ashton and was leaving too, but I don't put that past him because, you know, he supported his co-star who was an alleged rapist, and then he got that organization over the kids where he probably trafficking kids. I don't want to put that out there. Allegedly, don't say nothing crazy, but I wouldn't put that past him to be a part of it too.
I agree.
I was gonna say, Storm, before I go, with Ellen and Portia moving to the UK, what do you think about that? Because it's like, obviously, you a rich white lady. Ain't nobody worried about you. Your taxes is protected. You one of the protected groups by Trump in regards to the money. So why is she leaving?
I don't even understand it, because even if they were a part of hold on, I'm gonna mute you just like, even if they're a part of any crimes, you did what I'm saying, like you can still be extradited from the UK. So maybe they just want to get away from the US press and the paparazzi. I don't know, but it looks suspicious as fuck to me.
You're right. I feel like all of them are doing that.
Exactly. Just go. Just go and get those straps and go strap the wing.
All right.
It's a storm show. Ay, it's a storm show.